Welcome to India, the largest democracy in the world. It's held free and fair elections for almost 7 decades, guarantees universal voting rights with more than 96 crore registered voters, and this year, over 17.4 crore eligible voters are stepping out to exercise their democratic right in the ongoing state assembly elections. This spans 4 states and 1 union territory, 824 constituencies, 2.18 lakh polling booths, and 2.5 million election officials. With numbers this large and stakes this high, why is everyone missing one key factor? I'm your host Lavanya, and in this episode of The Climate Brief, we are talking about the climate issue hiding in plain sight this election season. As heat waves are becoming longer, hotter, more dangerous, why are our elections still held in the hottest months of the year? Every summer, the IMD puts out heatwave alerts. This April and May, they have forecast above normal heatwave days, with spells likely to last 10 to 14 days longer than usual. The advisory is clear. Don't step out between 12 and 4 p.m. Avoid direct sunlight and stay hydrated. But right in the middle of all of that, 4 states and 1 union territory are going to the polls. So everyone from election workers to voters are caught in these heat waves. Election campaigns start with party workers going door to door, standing on streets, handing out pamphlets, or going around on a truck. So not stepping out between 12 to 4, not an option. Then of course, there are the rallies, where thousands of people are packed into open grounds, standing under the afternoon sun, waiting for leaders who are often running late. The crowd starts gathering hours before the rally actually begins, and people stand for hours without shade or ventilation. So avoiding direct sunlight? Not possible. After all that, we come to voting day, where election officials and poll workers often have to travel to remote polling stations and may have to spend long hours in those booths, which aren't always well ventilated. Finally, we come to the most important stakeholder, the voters. Traveling far to reach the voting station and waiting in long queues in cramped spaces without ventilation are just the surface level issues that we can see. Of course, going early is an option, but when everyone has the same idea, you end up stuck in a long queue waiting for hours. So millions of people are at risk of heat stress, dehydration, fatigue, and in some cases, death. And this isn't hypothetical. We have seen this play out before. And that picture was not pretty. In June 2024, 33 poll personnel died due to heat-related conditions in Uttar Pradesh. 10 election workers in Bihar died on a single day while setting up polling booths. And in Kerala, nearly 10 deaths were reported due to heat strokes. In fact, during the entire 2024 election season, almost 77 people lost their lives. It's not just about elections. Any large outdoor rallies in the summer or in heat wave season, as we like to call it, has a high propensity to cause heat strokes and even death. Like in 2023, when 12 people died from heat stroke in Maharashtra at a government-sponsored event, which took place in an open ground during peak summer. Or in 2024, when nearly 5 people died due to heat-related issues and overcrowding at an IAF air show at Marina Beach in Chennai. The pattern is clear. Every time we ask large numbers of people to gather when it's peak summer, we are putting them in grave danger. So the question is, why are we still doing this in summer? Here's something you may not know. Indian elections weren't always held in summers. The very first general elections in 1952 ran from November through February. And for almost 5 decades after that, elections stayed in the cooler window between November to March, barring 2 exceptions in 1991 and 1996.
In fact, the challenge then was that the harsh climate of India's winters meant the world's largest election had to be held in 68 phases.
So what changed? The 2004 election. Though scheduled for October, the then government decided to call elections in April-May, famously to ride the wave of popularity that they believed they held. Because we follow a 5-year cycle, since then, every Lok Sabha election has been held in April-May. State assembly cycles follow their own 5-year terms, and in many states, those terms end in May and June, which pulls their elections in the same window. So, why is this such a big problem, and what can we really do? Now, to be honest, even in 2004, doing an election in the summer was not easy. Let's look back at a few key facts. Even back then, the highest temperature recorded in Delhi was 46 degrees Celsius. This prompted the Election Commission to issue directives to the states to provide shelter, temporary shade, water, and raise awareness about heat strokes. This went as far as women being advised to avoid bringing children, and voters were told to carry towels. In the words of a 2004 Times of India article, in what is equivalent to a war-like situation, the election department is all set to ensure that a paramedical staff officer accompanies every mobile poll party with essential heat stroke medicines and ORS packets. When it was this bad back then, how much worse is the summer of 2026? A 2025 study found that 3 out of 4 Indians now live in districts with high to very high heat risk. Researchers warn that heatwave hazard is projected to only get worse across all districts as global warming and the urban heat island effect intensifies. So hotter, longer, and more severe summers will be the norm. Then what are we doing about it? The Election Commission gave out a heat advisory during the 2024 elections. From polling stations on the ground floor to wet towels being suggested as a solution, plenty of steps are being taken. This season, we're already seeing parties in Tamil Nadu and Kerala scrap daytime campaign events, pushing it before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m. Party workers are doing door-to-door visits with umbrellas and coconut water to get through the day safely. But is it really enough to simply make polling booths cooler? Just add coolers and generators at every polling booth, air-conditioned campaign venues, and provide ample refrigerated water. Now, this might seem like a good solution, but all of that needs massive amounts of energy that is still powered by coal or diesel-run generators outside the makeshift venues. Of course, this means more carbon emissions and more global warming. But I think you don't need an expert to tell you that the heat is becoming worse so rapidly that these band-aid measures simply cannot keep up. In fact, in 2024, the Election Commission set up a task force to review the impact of heat waves on elections and acknowledged that the elections should have ended a month earlier. What we really need is to take this heat more seriously and make it a key part of deciding election schedules. The biggest question is, why should a hot country like India, that boasts of conducting the largest elections in the world, have this incredibly complex event in the middle of the heatwave season? And while you ask the big questions, remember to stay safe. If you are stepping out to vote this April, which I hope you are, try to avoid going in the hottest 12 to 4 p.m. window, carry water, wear cotton clothing, protect yourself from direct sunlight, and watch out for others around you. What has your experience been of voting in the summer? Tell us below and subscribe for more climate stories.